got a call from Velocity Sports a little bit ago saying that my old bike was ready to pick up. They did inform me though that it's burning oil, and they offered to get into it more. Said that it was also making some valve noise as well. But I'm gonna have to make a point of doing that later. Don't have the money required to allow them to get into the bike. Besides, Kat is wanting very much to ride. I think it will run well enough for her to get some practice and experience. I think that she will probably be upgrading to something else in a year or two anyway. Actually, I'm on my way to pick up Kat, and then she's going to drive my car, and then I'm going to ride the bike home, where we will replace the front brake rotor and brake pads, because with the fork oil leaking out the way it was, all of that is contaminated, and there wasn't very much stopping power with the front brake. So that's where we're at. At this point, Kat and I just picked up the bike. I'm riding it home, and as I'm sitting here listening, the bike really is making a lot of noise, a lot of valve clatter. So we're gonna have to get that checked out at some point. The bike really doesn't feel any different. It runs like I always remembered it running, but it is noisy. I guess I just never noticed that before. But it runs very strong. It's got good speed. The engine doesn't seem to be struggling or anything like that, and the bike moves down the road as quick as you need it to. Well, we got the bike home. We put new brakes on the front of it, new disc and new brake pads. Anyway, as we got into it, we could see that we also need to put a new caliper on there, but that's a job for another day, probably not too far in the future. that is my daughter Kat. She's been riding since about the middle of March when she completed the riding academy at Harley Davidson, the beginner level. She's looking pretty good. She rides like she's been riding for more than that amount of time. She looks like she's been on the bike for about a year, but really she just started, and I think she enjoys it a lot. I think she will quickly outgrow my old Suzuki N50. How did the brakes feel?
Really good. Looks like they have a lot of power.
I just rode home with Kat after we put brakes, front brakes, disc brakes. I can't even get my train of thought. We replaced her brake pads and the rotor in the front of the bike, and then I rode with her home, which was about 25 miles away. And then, of course, I get soaked on the way home. I don't even know if you can tell, but yeah, I'm soaked from head to toe. There's water inside my boots. Anyway, that was my Friday. Great beginning to the weekend, y'all.